Hello everyone and welcome to Tailored Acres. I'm Taylor and I am a residential gardener in Wisconsin Zone 4B. And today we're going to talk about strawberries. This here is my current strawberry patch. This half, last fall, I did a video and showed you how I thinned them greatly. I did not end up getting to that other side, and I think I'm going to do something a little bit different this year, opposed to this other side where I'm just going to thin them as they are and also try to tackle some of the raspberry bushes that are trying to take over there. So I did not cover these very much, just a little bit of leaves here, and they're pushing new growth already and everything. So all of these look really happy, although maybe a little chilled. And then the other side I didn't do anything with. Whatever leaves fell on them stayed there, and they all look really good too. This strawberry patch is all June bearing varieties, and I really want to try some ever-bearing varieties. So I purchased some Bareroot strawberries called Seascape from Jung Seed last week, and that's what I'm going to show you how I'm going to be growing those this year. Quick side note is that I am starting to harden off my perennials that I grew from seed and also the ranunculus for this year. So don't forget to harden off your seedlings before you're planting them out. Here is the strawberries that I picked up at Jung Seed. You can see it's got information on here. They're ever-bearing Seascape variety. It does have growing instructions on here. I did have these in my refrigerator for the last week. So that is how they're stored in the store too before you get them. So these are a little bit dirty, but you can see I got some green growth in there, which is a good sign. So we're going to take these out next. And then we are going to put them in here with some water to soak for about an hour to recharge those roots again. While these are soaking here, let's talk about some of the benefits of growing strawberries from Bareroot. The first one is that it's the most cost-effective way to grow strawberries. They are, I think this one was about $20 for 20 plants. The second one is that they will bloom and produce fruit that first year. They will be better in the second year, but they will still produce that first year, which is very exciting. And then the third one is that planting them this way will give them a really good head start in your garden, especially planting them out early. This container here is what I'm going to plant them in for now because my strawberry patch is already full and I want to see how growing them this way works because it's appealing to be able to move them wherever they need to, and I can move them into a protected area for winter. So I do have some soil in here already. This was used for my saffron crocus that I had been growing, which I got sick of doing, and those got planted out to try to fend for themselves. So what I'm going to do is just recharge that, and I love this Biotone starter fertilizer. I've been planting everything with it, and it seems to really do a good job in giving it that head start and continuing to feed it as well. So I'm also going to add some of this Pro Mix all-purpose just to top off the level here. And then we'll add some Biotone. All right, and then I'm just gonna mix that all together. And strawberries are pretty heavy feeders. Oh, there's a old saffron crocus. Are pretty heavy feeders, so we want to make sure that we're giving them nutrients when we plant them. There's a rock. My next step here is going to be to cut the roots back to 4 to 6 inches, which I hadn't done in the past, but that was a recommended step on the instructions that came with this one. And it will make it easier to plant them. So nice trim there. So I counted them all and I had 26 healthy ones, and then there was this one that, I don't know, not looking real promising. The roots still look good, but there's no growth on this one. So this one will be the last one I plant. So I thought that I had more of these, but I have 5, and the width of them
isn't as much as I was thinking either. So I'm actually just going to plant 2 per on these. So I'm going to have plenty of leftover to share with my friends and family. So on these plants, this is the most important thing when you are planting them, that you cannot bury the crown. So if we're looking at this here, there's new growth up here, roots coming out here. This is the crown here. So we want to plant them. Basically, you're just going to want to cover the roots. All right. And you don't want it to be buried deep. Like, make sure that this is the high point in your garden too. These do not like to be wet. They will rot. And that's pretty much the most important thing when you're planting. So the other thing is I'm going to kind of plant them so that the roots are going out in every direction. They'll be much happier that way. So let's just dig a little guy here. And then we'll make a little mound here for it. All right, place them on there. Make sure the roots are all buried here. All right, we'll fill it back in. All right, so let's see if I can tip this. You can see I did not bury the crown here. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of these planted up, then I'll show you where I'm planting them out and also go over some more care tips for growing them on. So during the previous videos, my mic died, so that's why we are at poor audio quality. That's not something I've ever said before. So this is where I am planting them out, and the reason I want to keep them near my other strawberries, even though they're in the containers, is that I put bird netting over this. The birds love strawberries, and what sucks the most is that they'll take like one bite out of the strawberry and leave the rest for you. So you find this nice red strawberry and then there's like one bite taken out of it. It's just absolutely the worst. So I will be netting these, and I don't know how that's going to work with being an ever-bearing variety. I'm going to have to kind of plan as I go on that. I may also move these a little bit and plant some more in the ground here to see how those do. And we'll give you some updates throughout the year on that as well. Next, let's go over some care tips. The first of these is water. You can see I've got drip tape here. And I don't know if, I think these emitters are every 9 inches. I would recommend getting the 6-inch ones. Or even just match the spacing of your planting to have a emitter at each plant. That's going to be your best bet. These ones, I don't have anything set up right now, but I probably will, depending on where these end up with their final resting place. So I do have another video on drip and how I have that installed, but it all comes out over here. This hose hooks into a manifold that's in the greenhouse right now, but it comes out to the feeder tubes and then goes down here. And strawberries need about 1 inch of water per week. So they have high water needs. As I said before, strawberries are heavy feeders, and this is a great organic fertilizer for strawberries. It's heavy in the nitrogen, which is something that the strawberries are heavy users of. The other things that you can do are compost, which is obviously good for everything and a very balanced, slow release type of fertilizer. But any well-balanced fertilizer is going to be great for these plants. The June-bearing varieties, you're supposed to do that after they are done fruiting, is when you're supposed to apply the fertilizer. But for the day-neutral strawberries, which is what we just planted, the seascapes, those you can fertilize before they bloom. So they'll bloom a few times, so you can keep fertilizing them throughout the season. These two are the other fertilizers that I've used in the past, and they both have worked really well. Other than fertilizing and watering, the next most important thing is keeping your area weeded, and that's why there's these chips down, is to try to suppress some of the weeds. In addition to the weeds, these strawberry plants, some of them do it more than others, but they send out runners, and here you can see a little one, which will make a whole new plant. So you'll end up with a thick mat like I have going on here, and that will probably reduce your berry size, which is a struggle that I had last year. So that's why half of mine is thinned completely, and this half I'm going to try to tackle this spring and give away some free strawberry plants. So you can prune the runners to give your plants more opportunity to produce larger plants instead of setting out runners. But you can also let some go to keep continuing to grow your strawberry plant numbers. You can also transplant those daughter plants once they set roots. And you will know that they set roots is when you can't pull them back out. And the last tips that I have for you are fall care. So you can, I've seen people just take a weed whacker to their strawberries or a lawnmower. I have taken scissors and cut the leaves back. This year I didn't really do much on here, and they all still kind of look okay. You can tell they get kind of reddish in the fall here. And then a lot of people recommend putting like a 5-inch straw cover on this for winter. I did that a few years, and it was just such a hassle that it was kind of prohibiting me wanting to grow strawberries again, or keep my patch going. So the last 2 years now, I've just let it happen, and they've been totally fine. I don't know if there's any risk to doing that, but it has been working out just perfectly fine for me. So you can see I got the chips here, and then I just had a couple leaves on each plant, and then this section too, some leaves blow in here, and I just left them on. We did have a very mild winter this last winter though too. And that's it for growing strawberries here in Wisconsin. I hope that you have much success in your strawberry patch this year. Let me know how it goes, and let us know if you have any tips in the comments below. Happy growing, and take care.